This is Tesla's new yoke steering wheel, and this is coming out for not just the Model S, but also for the newly redesigned Model X that's coming out in the near future. And as more and more owners take delivery on their newer Model S models, there's been a weird trend going on in the car industry, primarily on Tesla, as a lot of people are like literally sawing their steering wheel in half or buying these yoke substitute or replacement style steering wheels. Is that really a good thing though? Is it? I mean, let's start off with what we have. The new yoke steering wheel is a column-less base steering wheel. It has literally everything from your turn signal, headlight controls, everything is literally right here on the steering wheel. Very similar to a Ferrari in a sense, actually. It has all the buttons, all these important buttons are usually found on their steering wheel. Again, freeing up the column. But is this really practical in everyday use? Well, from my first-hand experience, how my best friend described it, he described this as driving a log, because when you measure it, the steering wheel is much wider than your typical steering wheel. Most of the time it does feel like I'm actually holding a log as a wheel. And it's kind of awkward when you're making U-turns. Yes, you can still make smooth U-turn transitions. It just takes muscle memory to like start building for you to get the feel on how to make a U-turn feel as smooth and natural like a traditional steering wheel would, or else you'd just be doing gaps, because I've done that multiple times. But whenever you do like a fast U-turn, you just let go of the wheel and just rotate and catch it. It's not really that much of a big deal. But is it awkward to drive? Yes it is. Even to this very day, as I still continue driving this car, it still feels odd. Now, this being a columnless steering wheel, how do you switch gears from drive, reverse, and park? Well, the car has its own built-in AI system, which what Tesla is using for the Model S and the X, and soon to be released for the other Tesla models, where the vehicle, based off the cameras, it's able to detect and know when or which direction is recommended to be chosen to drive. So as a fine example, if you park in front of a wall, the vehicle is going to see that and automatically going to suggest if you want to go reverse. You simply tap on the brake pedal to confirm, and then you start applying the accelerator pedal, and then you start rolling out. The car is smart enough to do that. But if you want to override this, there's also this little column right here on the screen where you literally move forward to go forward and move back to go back. That's literally how you gear select. And on top is the park. Now, driving this vehicle day to day, now the signals on the columns, like right here on the side of the steering wheel, like your turn signal, it's not really that awkward actually. I really do like this. And then just like a smartphone, it actually gives you haptic feedback, so you know you actually toggle something. The high beams can be all controlled right here as well, which if you continue holding it will pop up your headlight settings, which is quite nice. And then in terms of accelerating, I feel like I could grip this a lot easier, and makes a nice snap handle, to be honest, because the width on the steering wheel ends are really like fun to grip when you're accelerating. So is the hype for the yoke steering wheel a move for automotive makers to start innovating this? It's hard to really tell, to be honest. For city driving it's not really much of a big deal, honestly, but in terms of like track performing racing, this may be a terrible idea. I personally would think at Tesla would have been much better just innovating like a similar steering wheel, what you expect to find on a higher end sport car like the Ford GT as a fine example. It's somewhat similar style to the yoke steering wheel, but it's not awkward, and you can still fully grab the steering wheel if you need to, instead of forgetting and missing that massive gap whenever you're making a high speed move. Although I do like how it frees up the speedometer, like the dash here in front. It does give it a very futuristic vibe, and I kind of understand what Tesla's trying to do when they finally accomplish level 5 autonomous driving, which probably won't happen until several more years, to be honest. This lack of needing a steering wheel, a yoke steering wheel, definitely does come in handy. But for day-to-day use, again, I personally would have been better off with like a high-performance steering wheel, like a bottom part or a 4GT style steering wheel, to be honest. This is awkward still, but definitely does look cool. It feels like I'm flying a fighter jet, honestly. But for those that are thinking about doing the conversion from their steering wheel to a yoke style steering wheel, I would strongly hesitate on not doing that. Just from my personal experience. Yes, it looks cool. If you're just going for looks, by all means, you do you. But for practicality and function and just comfort, I don't know. All in all, that's basically my overall impression with the yoke steering wheel. Enabling autopilot, it's slightly different since you don't have the column. You just tap this little metal ball here once, and that's literally it. You can still scroll up to increase the speed and all that good stuff. And really, it's just all about rebuilding that muscle memory when you're steering. As I continue driving this vehicle, I've been able to make smooth lane changes as well as U-turns, as you saw earlier. Yeah, there's times where my mind still naturally wants to grip the top part, but again, muscle memory will kick in over time. But is it worth converting your current vehicle to a yoke style? I guess that's all personal preference, to be honest. I don't recommend it because it still feels like I'm driving a log. And those conversion, like, people are just chopping the steering wheel in half, which is not the same thing. Because if you notice, this is more of a wide rectangular angle than a circular steering wheel to begin with. Hey, if you got some good informative information out of this video, if I prevented you from making a financial mistake, I'd greatly appreciate if you actually leave this video a like, as those help me out a lot, as well as get subscribed, especially if you enjoy a lot of tech videos very similar to this. I got more coming out in the near future. Don't worry, we're covering Apple stuff. In a couple more weeks, they're gonna release a bunch of stuff. So if you're a current subscriber and you like that type of videos, I'm not leaving it, I'm coming back, don't worry. I just wanna make content out of the things that I'm currently having connections with. So in the meantime, if you wanna watch more, check out that video over there. That's just a video that YouTube's recommending specifically for you. And the other video next to that one, that's a recent uploaded video as well. Thanks so much for watching, take care, and I'll catch you all in the next one. See ya.